Hello, I'm Nick Holland with Information Security Media Group, and I'm joined by Debbie Kish, who's the Executive Vice President of Marketing and Research with Fasoo. Debbie, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks.
So, fascinating discussion this afternoon around unstructured data and effectively how that is somewhat problematic in a variety of aspects when it comes to security management. But why is that? I mean, why is unstructured data such a problem?
Yeah, so unstructured data is a huge problem in a lot of companies, and it's mainly because a lot of companies don't realize that information is being extracted from these really secure ERP systems, CRMs, the secured databases that they've had for years. And stuff is just being pulled out of it and saved on desktops, on laptops, on other endpoints. So what happens is they lose visibility and control of that data. So that's why it's a big problem. They don't know what's out there.
Yeah. Well, I guess from that standpoint as well, I mean, there's clearly a lot of regulations coming in the last couple of years, like GDPR, we've got CCPA. I mean, from that standpoint, you need to know where your data is, right? So, I mean, how does it fit into that kind of ecosystem, and how do you manage that unstructured data given the increasingly stringent regulatory environment?
So the first thing that I always recommend is that you have to do a data discovery and classification exercise, because with the privacy regulations that they're changing so quickly, things like GDPR, there are fines and fees that are attached to them that could end up costing the business a lot of money. So a lot of these documents that are being pulled from these structured environments have personally identifiable information on them, have intellectual property, because they're shared amongst different business units and external contractors and things like that. So in order to minimize your risk footprint to potentially be in violation of a privacy regulation like GDPR or CCPA, everybody's talking about CCPA now, you need to gain that visibility of what's out there and minimize that risk. I mean, I talked about having, making sure that you have an opportunity to, after you do your discovery, to get rid of things like redundant or obsolete information. So again, further reducing your risk footprint.
Okay. So I mean, what other components would there be in terms of a strong governance strategy that would fit into this realm of unstructured data?
Yeah, so this is something that I've talked about on a couple of occasions. So one of the biggest things that I notice is that companies don't talk to one another. They don't talk to business units. C-level people don't understand what's going on in human resources. They don't know how information is being shared or accessed or created among all the different business units. So there has to be a conversation between everybody, all of the C-level folks as well as the business unit leaders, in order to get to a same goal, so it's same page meeting, so to speak, and how that information is going to be safeguarded. And again, how the information is going to be reduced to reduce your risk footprint.
Sure. And that's, again, it's a fairly lofty goal given how siloed a lot of organizations still are. So, I mean, maybe just for my own edification, where does Fasoo fit into this?
So we have products that actually discover and classify, and we also encrypt. And then what I like to consider our secret sauce is that we inject an embedded ID into each of the files. So you're protecting the actual data itself in the file. And that ID follows that data regardless of whether or not that file was changed from one extension to another, a different file type. That is safeguarded throughout its entire life cycle.
Okay. And does this work retroactively with data that's already out there?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, that's clearly beneficial then.
It's
yes.
important.
Good. Well, Deb, I mean, it's obviously a huge opportunity for Fasoo, but also it's clearly a large issue that the industry needs to fix. So, good. Best of luck with that.
Thank you. And I find that a lot of companies don't really recognize a problem, or they're a little afraid of tackling what they think might be a huge project. So I mentioned that 60 to 80% of most companies' data is unstructured.
And it's just this idea that it's the tip of the iceberg. It's like what what do we open if we open this box? I imagine
Exactly,
it's
it's
quite terrifying.
Pandora's box. We don't want to
Really?
open it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it doesn't have to be that way.
Well, Debbie, thanks so much for joining me again.
Thank you.
So that's Debbie Kish of Fasoo, and for Information Security Media Group, I'm Nick Holland.